What's up? Welcome back. Finishing off the stage 1 sound deadening today. Got the wheel arches left. We're just gotta wax and grease these and get them ready. We also got the rear section just behind there. Going to do the roof skin today as well, and still contemplating whether I should do them or not. So I'm not entirely sure what the best way to lay this stuff down is. Maybe I'm thinking about like one flat and try to strip that side so it's like, I don't know, sort of like the way that would sit. But I mean, that almost doesn't, and then we can patch that section. That might be the way to go. Might just mark that one with the knife. So when, I mean, I didn't really explain very well in the first video, but using the knife is mainly just for like scoring the top, which it very easily scratches, so leave sort of a mark where you can cut. I try not to cut the actual material when against the metal, because it's very easy to pierce and then scratch up the paint, and the last thing I want is for like moisture to get in there and for it to rust under this and have to take this off and potentially fix a rust. So I'm hoping in the next few days we can get, or at least start to put the interior back in. I'm still waiting for a few pieces on the aircon because I'm trying to get the whole aircon system back in. So where the cooling unit sits against the firewall, which is really the only component that's on the inside of the cabin, I'm just missing the expansion valve, so I'm just going to replace that in the cooling unit, and I kind of want that done before I put any of the interior, pretty much from the front section forward, so from the driver's seat and passenger seat forward. But I guess we can start on the interior work for everything from the back seat rear. Let's talk about aircon a little bit, because I'm going to do a whole video on it anyway. For myself, I understand that all AC components in a car pretty much work all the same. They all have the same components. But the issue is I struggle to find much information on it for this vehicle. I found a few forums, but they're outdated, or they're predominantly for S14s. I don't know why. Which use a different bracket and I guess potentially different wiring. I just don't want to get myself confused with a car that's not to my spec as well. So I thought, you know what, well, since I'm doing it for my car, I'm going to do a whole video on it, and anyone that's struggling to redo it for their car, I'm going to try and make an ultimate guide for you. Anyone thinking to do something like this, I'd say go for it. I got this priced for my car. I mean, only at one place. I didn't really get a whole bunch of quotes, but the one place I did go to quoted $1,500 for, it was about $1,500 I believe for the full car, and then anything extra where it sort of went up, roof skin, I don't know if that's included with the floor pan, but that was like an extra grand, so I think it was like 2.5 if I recall correctly. I might be wrong, or it might have just been $1,500 in total. Either way, that's a lot. Like, for the amount of money I've spent so far on buying all of the sound deadening material, I actually bought another box recently, so I was about at $700-ish, and buying another box, that was another 100, so about 800. So it's already 50% saving. So if you're a bit of a hands-on person and you, where the hell are my scissors? If you're a bit of a hands-on person and you like to do things yourself, which I'm assuming if you're into cars you probably are like that, just do it yourself. It is time consuming. I mean, I stripped the interior in my car about, I'd say a good 2 months ago, but then I got distracted with other stuff that I found in the car, like for example rust. But working on the sound deadening altogether, I'd say has been, I think I said in the last video, about 3 or 4 days, which this is probably going on to maybe 5 or 6 now. And then, you know, there's the extra of doing the stage 2 sound deadening, doing the roof skin, and that's pretty much done. Like, and that's the full car. That's like fully stripped, done properly, not just like taking the carpet out, doing the floor sort of thing. The other thing that was quite daunting and I contemplated doing or not doing it was the firewall, and taking the dash out, and mainly just the wiring harness. Like, it's such a mess right now, but I tried to label things or label the actual plugs that go into certain places the best I can. So as you start to put components back to where they should sit, if you follow the wiring loom, because it is pretty structured to like a certain direction, for example, comes out of that side of the firewall, stretches along to the left. So you know the fan motor, whatever it's called, is not going to be part of the wiring loom on that side. So kind of just use your common sense, find the plugs that fit, and I just labeled them for anything that I will sort of get confused on. Very daunting to do that. And then, you know, trying to get everything back, like even something as small as like a ground wire that was on the main, I don't know what it's called, but the bar that sits in there, is it a crash bar maybe, I don't know. But yeah, like there's certain things that clip onto there. There was a ground wire which I'm keeping a mental note of that sat on that side and that side, and it's just like something like that can be very easily missed. And how does that affect the wiring in the car? I don't entirely know. Once the interior is fully done though, I'm just I'm gonna keep it on the road for a little bit just to have a bit more fun with it. Just a little bit of fun, nothing illegal. So I'm not necessarily cutting right through, and this is what, like about 3-4 mil. Like I'm not cutting through that gunky bitumen stuff. I'm just really going through the foil and then just do a hard pull like that, and that seems to like kind of pull it out. The reason I'm not doing that, like, okay, so we can see here, right? I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but I got a massive, I got like a cut through the paint right around, and that's what I'm trying to avoid as much as possible. Let's try that again. I'd say that's pretty good. Perfect, I think that's ready to start rolling out. If you're thinking about working with this stuff, when you lay it down, the way I can know where a relief cut needs to be, for example here, you can actually feel that it gets tight and you can feel that it's not pushing down. So especially in the back, in the previous video, you will see like I start throwing cuts around everywhere through the thing, through the matting. It's because you can feel where the pressure is, especially like this one here, right? So following this groove here, it goes across and down, and if you sort of visualize it here, you can see it actually. There's like, it's just not allowing it to sit down. You can see the flex in it, and so you know, like that's sort of where your cuts are going to be, like that. And then using the back for any grooves or anything, I think they've actually designed it, if I'm not mistaken, to be used in that way as well. But yeah, it actually helps a lot with getting things to sit properly. Coming back in with any tool where you can apply pressure, it's fine. I use my scissors, just the back end of it, and that gets very close enough. That's like really all you have to really worry about. But look at that, sweet. So this is now a really good test for this stuff, because throughout this process, I'm not gonna lie, I've been doubting if it will work or not. But listen to the echo on that wheel well, or wheel arch, whatever. Look at the difference. Verse. That's huge. So I really hope it will quieten down the car. Based on that test just there, I mean, that is quite promising. When I had this car stripped, it was still drivable for a while. So I was driving it with completely stripped interior, so no carpet, no nothing. That's when it was noticeably really loud. But it was to the point where it was that annoying. You could barely even have, like, comfortably have a conversation with the person that was sitting next to you. So I'm really hoping this quiets things down. Again, this is like going to be a daily, so I don't want it to be like 100% race car. and, you know, weight reducted to the max. But if that's even a word. Yeah, I want it to be comfortable. That's why I want it to have aircon. That's why I don't really care if it gets a little bit heavier with a bit of sound deadening and an AC compressor hooked up. Like, I'm not planning to take it to the track and go drifting every day. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that's pretty good. Might just hit that corner in. And I'm pretty happy to jump to the other side. That's good enough. Alright, let's do another sound test. That, I mean, that's gotta work, right? It's good enough. Let's get that rolled down. And then we just got that back section to tackle, and that's sound one deadening done. Alright, we're just going to start undoing this two roof panels, so just this one straight and that one straight, and then we'll sort of assess as we go if it is needed anywhere else. Like I said, I was thinking about doing behind the seat belts, just on that vertical surface, but I don't know, I think I might leave it.